Batgirl number 2, written by Gail Simone, art by Arjun Syaf. So we last left off, Mirror had just killed this dude who I guess was supposed to have died, and Batgirl did nothing about it because she froze up because he pointed a gun at her. Pick up literally exactly where we left off, if not even a quarter second earlier, and Mirror's like, okay, well, I'm done here, goodbye. He flees out the building. Batgirl's like, oh, damn it, and she starts giving chase. Police officer tells her, hey, stay where you are. You froze up or whatever. Somehow that's a crime. She's like, nope, sorry, gotta go. Chases after the guy, and she just reminisces on like, man, I totally froze up. I suck. I guess I'm still not completely over my whole getting shot thing, but that's not going to stop me from taking this guy down. So she kicks the guy from behind, flying over rooftops, knocks him down. He's like, oh, no, I'm not supposed to die like this. And she's like, are you kidding? You just, like, you were all menacing back there. Now you're like this? Fine, whatever, give me your hand. And he's like, yoink, tries throwing her off the building. She uses her bat cable. I'm forgetting the word. Grappling hook. That's the one. Slams into a car. And for some, like, a cab driver's pissed off that she hit her car. But she sees Mirror getting away. Cut back to the hospital. The cop, I think we have a name, but I don't. Detective McKenna, that's it. Detective McKenna is trying to get out to chase after Mirror, and Gordon shows up, and he's like, hey, sit down, get yourself checked out, and then take some time off because your partner was just killed in front of you. Like, okay, got it? That's your orders. And then McKenna's like, all right, fine, I guess. I'm not going to be happy about it, though. By the way, Batgirl's back. And Gordon, like, freezes up, like, oh, my God. So maybe he knows. I don't know. Cut to Mirror was heading towards a graveyard. Batgirl arrives, meets him there. They have a little banter back and forth before they start fighting, and she's just getting wailed on. And then Mirror does his thing where he opens up his jacket, and you see the inside of his cape is full of mirrors. And he's like, do you see it, Batgirl? Do you see your true face? And she's like, oh, you're actually crazy. Okay, all right, well, I can't beat you physically, so maybe I can just out-agility you. So, go for another punch and whatever. She manages to snag his list, the list of names of people that he is destined to kill or whatever, who are destined to die. And she doesn't even like keep it or read it. She just grabs the paper and he's like, look what I got. And Mirror just walks up and goes, give me that. That's mine. You don't get to read that. And then they hear sirens in the distance. And in literally not even a panel, it goes from the swiping motion to he's gone and Batgirl's collapsed on one of the graves. Kind of a lot happened in between there. And it's just explained during narration boxes. So anyway, somehow she manages to stumble her way home, get out of her costume. Her roommate is there, gets her all bandaged up, and was like, okay, here's the thing. I'm not going to deal with any sort of like abusive boyfriends and stuff like that, so you tell me right now who did this to you, and we're going to take care of that together right now. And she's like, no, nothing like that. I have a secret, and I'd rather not tell you. And Roommate's like, cool, I can accept that. So, by the way, she does have a name now. I mentioned last time she didn't have a name. Alicia Yo. Sure to be a mainstay character for years. Cut to Barbara's on a date the next day with her therapist, her physical therapist, I think, but possibly still just her therapist. And they're just talking, and literally they're having just a therapy session here, where he's like, well, how does it feel to get back the use of your legs, Barbara? And she's like, well, it feels like a miracle. Well, why should a miracle happen to me? I've never had anything. This is not a date. This is a therapy session. And I don't know why they're dating. But anyway, he gives her a kiss, and then she's off to do Batgirl stuff. She actually goes to the library, does some research, based off of a couple things that the Mirror said, something about burning, that graveyard, some other stuff like that. She managed to piece together that he probably had some sort of tragic incident. His family's probably buried in the graveyard, and it had to do with fire. So she puts all that in the computer and somehow gets out a federal agent who was the sole survivor of a just terrible, terrible car accident. Tracks down where the guy lives, breaks into his house, and there's just guns and knives and hatchets and everything. He's like, all right, so I found the right place. Then a giant wall-sized TV turns on. He's like, hey, Batgirl, I was expecting you. So yes, you figured out who I was. My whole family burned right before my eyes, and I thought, why was I the one who survived? I should be dead. Therefore, my mission is to kill all the people who should also be dead. For instance, take this guy. He fell on the train tracks and some dude rescued him. But he should be dead. Luckily, he still rides that train. So I've put a bomb on that train, and it's going to kill him, and I guess everybody else on board, but whatever. And that's where we leave off with him saying, like, oh, you'll learn how important my mission is, Batgirl. I don't hate it. I know when I pause like that, it feels like I'm contemplating my hate. I don't hate it. It just feels like a lot all packed into one issue. And it isn't really. It's a decent amount of just normal like stuff, but the fact that we're switching scenes like every page it just feels like a lot, you know? It feels very fast paced. I'm still getting everything. It's not like it's skipping over anything except for that part where they leave the graveyard, because that just happened. But no, like we're introduced to the therapist dating angle. We're introduced to his entire backstory. We're introduced to just a bunch of extra stuff. And I'm going to give it a 6.5 because it is competently done. It just feels like a bit much. Art-wise is fine. I have no complaints there. Mirror's just still kind of a silly villain, but they at least gave him a good backstory, so I'm okay with that. But yeah, no, 6.5. It's fine. He just seems a bit try-hard for me. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But yeah, 6.5.